Salutations friends, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be another fragrance first impressions, and it's going to be on the masculine fragrance from Histories de Parfum 1899 Ernest Hemingway. So if you guys want to know my first impressions of this fragrance, as well as my final thoughts or the more of a full review of last week's fragrance, then keep watching. Okay, if you guys don't remember how this works, and I always like to give you guys a little kind of, this is how these videos work in the beginning of this, is my first impressions videos is I sample this for the first time, I spritz it on my skin, give it about 10 to 15 seconds to warm up, smell it, let you know what I think, let you know what notes are playing around on my skin, and then I come back in about 15 to 20 minutes after it's dried down a little bit and warmed up a little bit more. Then I will give you my first impressions. I will tell you how I like how it's developed on my skin, if I like the notes, if it's synthetic, if it smells high quality, things like that, and also where I think this might be appropriate to wear. Then at the end of this video, I will give you my final thoughts of last week's fragrance. I usually wear those fragrances at least 2 to 3 times, sometimes through the entire sample, and I will let you know if I really enjoyed it, about sillage, longevity, and if I'm going to pick up a bottle or not. And that fragrance is from Bond No9, and I mispronounce this all the time. It's Nuits de Noho. So if you are interested in that fragrance from last week, stick around this video and I will let you know what I think. But let's get into this fragrance, which is again from Histories de Parfum, which is a niche brand. This fragrance was released in 2013 and the top notes are Italian bergamot, juniper, and black pepper. The heart notes are orange blossom, iris, and cinnamon. The base notes are vanilla, vetiver, and amber. I love juniper fragrances. I love vanilla, amber, iris. I really like everything that this has going for it. There's not a single note in here that I don't freakishly enjoy, which is why I chose this scent to try. I don't shy away from masculine fragrances. I think truly all fragrances are unisex. You can wear whatever you want. Usually if I say something's overtly masculine, overtly feminine, this is truly unisex, or this is, you know, like I think men or women can wear it, I'm talking about how fragrances are marketed and generally how people who follow the marketing. Most men, generally, that I've noticed in the fragrance community don't care. They will wear whatever they want. Same thing with women, but there's some people who aren't in the fragrance community who only stick to one side of the coin. So when I say masculine, feminine, or unisex, I'm purely talking about how it's marketed. You can wear whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want. It's completely up to you. But this is a masculine fragrance. It is marketed as masculine. So let's get into the spritzing, and I will spritz, let it warm up, and then I will let you know what I think. So, as you guys know, I like to spritz on both wrists because I will be wearing this throughout the day. And I will come back in about 10-15 seconds and let you know how this is warmed up. This is really nice. This reminds me of Spice Bomb, like the pepper and the spice, but the cinnamon in here is kind of giving it, throwing it not Spice Bomb-esque. I actually am enjoying this. I'm getting the bergamot, I'm getting the black pepper. The black pepper is really muted. I'm getting the juniper, the cinnamon, and the vanilla. I'm not getting much of the iris yet, but I think that'll probably come at the dry down. So far this is really, really nice. I really like this. This seems to be a very safe spice fragrance. Sometimes with spicy fragrances, they can smell too generic. They can be way too spicy where they can hurt the nose, or they can just be boring. This is none of those, actually. It doesn't smell generic, it doesn't smell boring, and it's not too spicy. It's really, really, really pleasant. It kind of reminds me of like a cinnamon stick. You ever just smell a cinnamon stick? It doesn't smell overtly cinnamon. You can get other notes to it. And then if you cook it or use it, then you get crazy cinnamon. A little bit woody. And I love the vetiver in this, which is just starting to come out. So I'm going to let this dry down. I think I'm going to only let this dry down for about 15 minutes. I don't think this is going to need too long. So I will be right back and I will let you know what I think. Okay, alright. So it's been about 15 minutes. I let this dry. And I'm ready to give you my complete opinion, although it's not complete, it's just the first impressions. I think this I like was better than Spice Bomb. I love Spice Bomb. If you guys watched Spice Bomb, I was like, this is amazing. I love it. And if my husband didn't hate Spice Bomb, I would have already purchased a bottle of it because it's so good. I like this better than Spice Bomb. I really, really do. The cinnamon, and then when the vetiver and the iris came out, that's just kind of like everything clicked even better than it did in the opening, which is really, really nice. This just smells just distinguished and sexy and spiced, and there's something really warm about it, which I think is the vanilla and the amber. But it's blended together beautifully. I'm really, really enjoying this. This is definitely a masculine fragrance, but I find that this teeters more towards, what's the word I'm looking for, like unisex, like more unisex, leaning more towards on the masculine side. There's a little bit of sweetness in here that I think if you really like feminine fragrances, you'd love. But the sweetness in here isn't candy, it's not gimmicky, it's not juvenile. It's a very sophisticated sweetness. It's like the vanilla and the cinnamon and the amber are working with the iris and the bergamot and the juniper and the black pepper, and it just is a beautiful balance of everything. It's really, really nice. So far this is a winner. The one thing I want to see, actually, this doesn't have that much projection, I've noticed. It seems to be a little bit more intimate, but I only sprayed a little bit on my wrist. I'm going to apply more of this. I'm going to be more interested not in how this fragrance wears, because I think I'm going to love the way this smells. I think that this is going to be a fragrance I'm going to see longevity. I think that will be the thing that makes me purchase it or not purchase it. Generally, you guys know I live in a hot and humid climate, and I usually look for 4 to 6 hours. That might not sound like a lot, but when you live in 100% humidity and heat, that's actually pretty good. So if I can get 4 to 6 hours with this, this will probably be a definite buy, but we will see. It also depends on if my husband likes it. So I'm actually going to go ask him real quick what he thinks. Okay, he actually really liked it. He said at first it smelled like a cedar box. And then he said it smelled like a little spicy, mellow, nice. He's like, I like it. And then we talked a little bit about the notes, which we never do. So that's a huge plus. So if this wears on my skin, even at 4 hours, this will probably be a definite buy. But again, longevity has a huge part to play in deciding if I'm going to buy it. So anyway, my first impressions of this is A+. It's so good, and it's husband approved, which is rare. Let me tell you guys, I think I've come to the point where I have almost like 200 bottles in my collection, which is still small for fragrance collectors, you know, like it's still a small amount. He likes 3 of them. 3. So it's like 1% of my fragrances that he likes. So when he likes something and I like something, it's usually an automatic win, but I want to see how this wears on my skin. I will hope for at least 4 hours. So next week I will let you know what I think and if I bought it, because if it lasts today, I'll probably end up buying it tonight if it works out pretty well. Alright, so what were my final thoughts on last week's fragrance? This is Bond No. 9 Nuits de Noho. That was a beautiful, delicious mix of just everything. I really loved it. I love the pineapple and the jasmine and the mandarin. It just smelled really, really nice. On the skin, it played beautifully. It just was an overall very elegant experience. It had beautiful longevity and extraordinary sillage. Enters a room long before I come in and stays a lot longer than I leave. That being said, I'm probably going to be buying a bottle of this, but I do feel that it's a touch too heavy for spring and summer, specifically when my falls and winters, there we go, autumn and winters in Florida are still 70 to 80 degrees. So I have to be very mindful of when I wear specific fragrances because sometimes it can be too heavy. That was a touch too heavy for spring and summer. So that is on my probably going to buy list sometime in August and September when I start buying my winter fragrances, but I did really enjoy it and I will be picking up a bottle of it. I got again, fantastic sillage, ridiculously, which means I would not recommend that for the workplace, the theater, or the classroom, specifically any place where people cannot get away from you if they do not like your fragrance. Generally, you want something that's a little bit more intimate or sits a little bit closer to the skin, or is a little bit safer smelling for those environments. At least, again, that's just my opinion. Subjective, you can do whatever you want. But great longevity, about 10 hours. I mean, it was ridiculously good. And it smelled very luxurious and very elegant and very sophisticated and very sexy. And I feel like it's one of the fragrances that would be gorgeous on anybody. So it does get an A+ from me. It's fantastic. Again, it's just a touch too heavy for me to buy now. So I will be buying it in the future, unless I find a fantastic deal on it, or I just decide I don't care and I'll wear that in the 105-degree summer that we usually get here in Florida, specifically South Florida. But overall, it was a beautiful fragrance, a beautiful experience, and I really enjoyed it. So I like it, and I will be buying it in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you guys like my fragrance videos, remember to give this video a thumbs up. Lets me know to continue doing videos like this. Also, don't forget to subscribe, because it's free, and I'm free, and I put out new videos every Monday through Friday, and sometimes on the weekends as well. So I'll always have something for you to watch. In any case, I hope you guys are all happy and healthy, and have a great day, month, year, whatever, and I'll see you next time. Bye!